If you were president, would you declassify, you can answer yes or no to this, would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so.
Listen, my children, and you shall hear the midnight ride.
We have some live shows coming up. Go to jimmydore.com and you'll find our tour. But we have a show coming this Saturday night at Two Roads in Studio City. There's only about 60 seats. It's very intimate. It's a great show. And we don't have anything on the books right now to do LA in June, after June or July right now. So this is the last show that we're going to do for a while in LA. So you should check it out. It'll be a fun night, Saturday night, 8 p.m. Two Roads. Go to jimmydore.com. Here we go. You know what? I thought this. Noel says emergency use authorization must be stopped, and fuck Trump for not revoking this bullshit. No kidding, Noel. Much appreciated for that. This is off topic, but I'm seeing Grok usage on the Biden ball cancer post and thought you should ask Whitey Webb about Grok next time she's on. Thank you, Bing Bada. Here, unvaccinated guy, thank you very much. Unvaccinated guy, thank you again. Unvaccinated guy, yes, and thank you again. All very funny references. Does anyone give a fuck about Hollywood nowadays? Tropical Rocket wants to know. The only thing Epstein choked himself was his chicken, FSL. Jimmy, do a few Negronis today, Wilford suggests. Savage, thank you very much, Savage. The Game 3. Kerp, when you going to watch the Dinonauts movie? They hiding the truth main dinosaurs were aliens from space. Check it. P.S. F Israel. Free Palestine.
I never heard of that.
I didn't either. Dinonauts. Thank you.
I know not.
Dinonauts. Murdered a case. Epstein was murdered. They brought him to the prison with the intention of killing him. They killed one of their satanic P-word own. It's big message.
I just want justice for Jeffrey Epstein. That's what I've always asked for.
That's all you've asked for. That's all you've ever asked for. Hey, Bridget Fatassi asked last night, why does Kash Patel always look like he just got off a roller coaster?
That's a great point.
Is that funny? Way to go, Bridget. Thank you for that, Mind Runner. Much appreciated. Hey, Fret Pound. Oh my gosh, Fret Pound. Hey, Kurt, something you said really struck with me about people going through their 5 stages of grief before they can accept the truth. I lived it since 2016. It killed my marriage. Fret Pound.
Chase Hughes made that. That's Chase Hughes said that. The guy that's a body language guy that went on Rogan, used to be in the CIA. He kind of tells the truth about a lot of this stuff. And he's friends with my friend Scott Rouse, who's a body language guy. And he's completely unreadable, the dude, when you see him. And Scott tells me it's because he's very nervous.
I want a body language guy on the show. I think that'd be a great interview.
Ask Scott Rouse. Oh, we should have Scott come in, Jimmy, and have him watch Cat.
Yeah, have him watch
Rouse analyze these people.
Yes, I think that's great. Jimmy, your MAGA friends that listen to you who are for Palestine are the reasonable ones. The rest are in the majority and are just as sycophantic to Trump as libs are to the Dem Party. Julius Patty. Hey, Julius. Hey, everybody. Pretty exciting that Bernie came out and said that the Democrats are horrible. We'll talk about that later. Corn Pop, the baddest dude. Hey, Kurt, have you heard of Adam Green from No More News? He would like to have you on his show. Would you be down, Corn Pop?
No More News. Wait. Adam Green. Is he a comic?
I don't know. But No More News is KNOW More News. Somebody needs to let out. Come here, Betsy. Come here. I'll let you out in a second. Come here. Come here, baby. All right.
No, I don't know who that is.
Who is it?
I mean, I would talk to anybody.
It's Adam Green from No More News.
I don't know who that is. Okay.
All right.
Come to me.
Back to Jim.
So this is great. Everybody seems to be waking up to the fact that whoever's in charge of the FBI is going to lie to you about Epstein. They're going to now lie to you about the Donald Trump failed assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania. And even Alex Jones has had enough. So first Kash Patel and Dan Bongino lied about Epstein, and now they're lying about that the guy in Butler. It was just one guy. It was just he was able to get within a shooting distance of the president on top of a roof. Anyway, let's watch.
All by him lonesome. Bongino might as well pee on us. But how come we don't have more information on the assassination attempts on President Trump?
There's two reasons, two open, ongoing prosecutions. So 2 of the investigations are obviously closed because the individuals are dead. But there's 2 live prosecutions. And so we can't get ahead of the federal court case. A lot of that information will come out in the federal court cases, but we have personally invested our time in making sure that we have looked at any possible international connections to terrorism and adversaries alike. And we've both been down to Quantico. We've both done the laboratory testing. We've both seen the explosives analysis. We've both seen the firearm and physically held it. We are all in on these investigations.
Are we going to be surprised at what you learned?
You know what, Maria?
Yeah. No, we're going to have to cover it up again.
Cash is not kidding. We've been personally briefed extensively on every single detail, nugget, tendril of this case. One is actively in court right now. So out of respect for the case, it's probably more appropriate that I stay quiet on that. However, I'm not going to tell people what they want to hear. I'm going to tell you the truth. And whether you like it or not is up to you. If there was a big explosive there, right? Given my history as a Secret Service agent and my personal friendship as a director does with the president, give me one logical, sensible reason we would not have. If you can think of one, there isn't.
I have one. I have one because I don't know. Maybe the intelligence agency was in on it. Maybe the Mossad was in on it. And your first allegiance is to Israel instead of the United States. And maybe you know that you're going to end up dead if you uncover this. Kurt, you have a guess?
Not just that. They're afraid of a civil war when they find out the country has 2 factions of deep state trying to kill each other's candidates. Yeah. That's what Thomas Crooks was, and that's what the other guy with the 2 colored hair yapping about Ukraine, that's an old MK asset, I can promise you. Nobody does the stuff that guy did unless they're in the thing, and that split colored hair on an old man like that, that's a dead giveaway to me. Oh, his son, by the way, was arrested in a pedophile porno network also. It's amazing how those things always go together. Thomas Crooks, his parents' behavior, where are his parents? Every other killer or would-be shooter, we interview the parents. Where's Thomas Crooks' parents? Bongino, you big hit bitch. Did you know every nugget? Would you like to share some? You punk. He's worthless, dude. Honestly, I'm back to hating him, Jimmy. I know you talked me out of it. I actually hate him. I hate him.
Okay. Ben, what do you say?
It's concerning that what they're talking about is opening up files that were investigated. And I don't think that's what we're asking for. We wanted this reinvestigated, not for you to look over files that have already reached a conclusion that is obviously not the conclusion that people are looking for and not what the clues out there say. So
yeah, what it sounds like that would be like the equivalent of saying, hey, we read the Warren report and it was Oswald did it himself. We read everything in the Warren report, and Chagrin, who figured it was lone gunman Oswald did it. We read every page.
Hey, I want to know who's on them videos, the terabytes of videos of important people that still have their goddamn job that participated in child sex trafficking in the government and business. You know who that is, Dan Bongino? Did you see that part? Why don't you clue us in on it? So I'd like a warning for who's a pedivore around me, you know? So
here's the entertaining part. The entertaining part is to watch Alex Jones's chagrin at watching these guys lie to us. Here's Alex Jones's take. Ready?
Trump former spokesperson Liz Harrington slams FBI Director Dan Bongino for downplaying Trump Butler assassination.
Trump's former spokesperson is slamming those guys for lying about the assassination attempt. Trump's former spokesman. So everybody's doing this now. Everybody, Tucker Carlson is laughing at them. Glenn Beck, all the MAGA people. Now Alex Jones. There isn't anybody who isn't laughing at their obvious bad attempts to bullshit us. So
am I supposed to think he's honest because he was in the Secret Service?
In the Secret Service.
Are you joking?
The Secret Service was in on it. That's why the
They have to be.
The Secret Service was in on it. That's why they had a bunch of short people guarding the Trump that day, and they allowed a guy to get on a roof. And they said, well, we couldn't have people stationed on that roof who were Secret Service because it was too big of a slope, except where the guys who actually shot that shooter were from was on a much worse slope. So let's listen to Alex. Let's go back to Alex Jones.
Sorry, investigation into J13 is closed. Who were you briefed by? The people who came in, hosed down the crime scene, cremated the body,
who were you briefed by?
Stonewalled congressional investigations, and lawyered up the family? There is a there because we know nothing about Crooks or who he was talking to. If this is true, they need to come out with everything they know about why and how a 20-year-old pulled that off. You have there like 10 minutes on the roof. Everybody, gun, nothing's done. The former FBI director just called for another hit on President Trump. Yeah, it'll just get covered up. We must get serious about what is going on. Yeah, it was the deep state 100%. And if it's being covered up, then that green lights them to do it again. And you know what Comey just said, let's 86-47 instead of 48-47. We've got some very disappointing, disturbing things coming out of Kash Patel and Dan Bongino. And again, everybody knows I'm not the guy that jumps the gun on criticizing people in the Trump administration. I don't want to do it. I don't want to believe it. And I think the jury's out on some things here. Certainly not on RFK Jr. Delivering, unbelievably incredible. Thank you, Jesus. Tulsi Gabbard, unbelievable. Thank you, Jesus. So many others. Amazing. Elon Musk, incredible. After Kash and Bongino came out and said, oh, we've seen the files, you haven't, but, yes, Epstein killed himself for sure, when that's total BS. Take an hour to go over all the evidence. Coroner said his neck was broken in 3 spots. I mean, give me a break. Cameras all turn off. On and on and on. After that, now, we've shut the case on the Butler assassination. The supposed shooter acted alone. And if you know the MO and the facts on that, he was in a safe house, totally clean, with no utensils, everything wiped. Both the parents are in behavioral psychology modification, mind control. He's in BlackRock commercials. The FBI stands down in the investigation. The Secret Service completely stands down. CNN was the only rally they went to. They announced he had been killed at first. Then they said there was an assassination attempt. The FBI director said, we think, maybe he wasn't shot at. I mean, what were the bullets that wounded and killed people? So we know that was a black op government operation. And to have Bongino come out now and say, no, we've looked into it, nothing to see here, move along, is disturbing.
Yeah.
Very disturbing.
Oh.
Yes. The task force is concluded. Trump's former spokesperson, Liz Harrington, slams FBI Director Dan Bongino for downplaying Trump Butler assassination plot. No kidding. Yeah, the FBI slow roll and cover up and not work with the state police and others in Florida. They had to come out and say it was outrageous. There was a cover up on the shooter there, the would-be killer. I mean, the would-be assassin. I mean, this is a continuation of the corruption and protecting it, and that is not what Kash Patel talked about, closing the FBI headquarters and turning it into a museum. And when he said that, he said because we're going to send him out and take out to the country to actually be federal investigators, not intelligence operatives. Well, that's not happening now. So very, very disappointing. And that just makes my eyes turn more to them, which I really don't want, be going down this road. But I have my integrity. It's not for sale. In fact, it's impossible. I can't even make myself even war game. Well, they're doing good overall. Maybe I should just not be, I just don't even do that. So, and they are doing some of the good. I mean, they are moving most of those people out to make them actually be FBI agents and not spies. So he's, again, there's a lot of good happening. And I've talked to some high-level Justice Department people, and they said, listen, what's going on here is we got to pick our battles. And when you've got agencies and things and the bureaucracy and the cover-ups, it's almost impossible to sit there and ferret through it. If we just move on to the big stuff we can do, shutting down globalist operations, cutting their money, indicting low-level, mid-level, moving up, that's how we got to do it. And because then they turn state's evidence. And I wasn't told that by the FBI New York Mafia, as it's known, and that's what Bongino and Cash are. I don't mean that mean. That's what's called in the FBI, a clique. But I was told that by other people that aren't in the FBI, but you could just say are their bosses. So I'll be balanced about all that, and we'll probably spend 5 minutes on it. It's just still disturbing. I mean, listen, just don't sit there and tell us, oh, we've closed it, he acted alone, we have the files. Don't, if you're going to crap on me or piss on me, don't rub it in and don't tell me it's raining, okay? Please. Just, can you not, just as a PR issue, will you stop it, Kosh and Bongino? I know, obviously, Dan, nobody's smarter than you. But if you want to go from being very popular to very unpopular and thus hurt Trump as well, just keep going. Keep going, tough guy. Okay, I'm going to stop right there.
He doesn't stop. He's
getting angry.
He's getting angry.
Okay. So, I want to beat the globalists. That's what I want to do. And it's very insulting to the American people to say Epstein killed himself. No one buys it. It's very insulting to say that brainwashed mind control, classic mind control operative acted alone. Please stop. The one that trained, where the federal law enforcement trained, all that, his cell phone all around the federal building in D.C., the FBI headquarters, huh? Stop it. If you're not going to do anything about it, just shut up about it then. But that's only going to encourage the group inside the government, the faction, to try to kill the big guy again. All right, see, I got more important stuff to hit than this. Sorry, I'm going off on a jag here. I'm well known for that, aren't I? Once I start talking about something, I got to go ahead and tell you what I really think. I'm not trying to create some controversy. Alex Jones turns on Trump, turns on Bongino. It's not that. Please don't insult us anymore.
That is going to be my title,
please.
Though. That is going to be my title for this video.
God, it's like getting up at a dinner party and taking a dump on a plate and telling everybody it's chocolate ice cream. Just do not do it.
So I don't know if he...
Gives me a headache. We had a well-known, very famous private investigators that were hired by Trump's people to go spend months in Pennsylvania and investigate it. And they came back and talked about the FBI pulling up and threatening them and following them and telling them to stop their investigation.
Yep.
And then that same FBI now is still in charge, obviously, and is just telling us to just stop investigating. Well, we're not going to. You guys can tell us there's nothing to see here and crap like that, but we're not going to shut up about it. So you can be guaranteed of that. If you want to know about it, go put the article back up, the Hagman investigation into it. All right, let's stop right there now.
So
Pennsylvania investigators found strong evidence of a criminal network handling Trump's assassination attempt in Butler. Handling the attempted assassin in Butler, Pennsylvania. Pretty important. So that's the facts if you want them, instead of what Bongino is telling people. Power corrupts.
Absolute power corrupts. Absolutely.
Lord Acton actually said power tends to corrupt, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. I mentioned it earlier, but I actually want to play the clip, and it's
okay. We can stop there. You get. So there's so much crazy evidence. The guy has his whole social media, the shooter in Butler, completely scrubbed. He has no footprint on them, none. His house was completely scrubbed. There's no silverware in his house. His parents are psych ops people. He was in BlackRock.
Modification. Anybody that's in that industry, That's that's bioprogramming is what the government called it when they victimized people on the regular with it for many years. Remember they destroyed all the documents of that too?
Yeah.
Here's what they didn't destroy. The video of the crimes, because that's the blackmail. They're not going to destroy that. You need that.
That's right.
Scumbags. And also, again, he's distracting from the thing. Why was Kimberly Cheadle, the head of the Secret Service, who formerly from COG, that's the thing that Dan and the other...
continuations of governance.
Continuity of government. Catherine Rosen-Fitz knows about it.
Yes.
Kimberly Cheadle's the one that took Dick Cheney down in the bunker where he called for that plane to be shot down on 9/11.
Oh, wow.
You know, when they go underground to keep them safe in the event of a disaster, that's COG. And then she's at the Secret Service. And then Trump doesn't have Secret Service agents. Those short, fat lunch ladies, those are DHS agents on loan. Okay? Now, the shit Vem got put through is actually blowing my mind to think about, dude, because you're a mile and a half away. You go, hey, you know, I'm a legal gun owner. I want to make sure I'm not in any way I know somebody just tried something. They let this hair-lipped mind control slave get on a roof, 200 yards away and did nothing, but you're getting stitched up as a fake assassin. The whole guy, I'd like to know why Dan and what's his name aren't investigating that, because they're looking into all the supposed assassinations, right?
Yeah.
Why aren't they helping you out if they're not in on?
You know, that's the thing that's been bothering me, actually. Being a big-time Trump fan, you know, I've been working really hard and, you know, got blackballed from Hollywood for having certain point of views about politics and all that. Certainly paid a price. And when it came down to this situation, I really wish they would, like, if we don't arrest people, right? What Chad Bianco did is against the law. It's against the law to try to frame somebody, okay? It's what the former head of the Secret Service did. I don't know if it's against the law, but it's certainly something that requires investigation, right? But these people are not investigated. They're not arrested. And what does that do? That gives everybody else a license to do whatever the hell you want. Until we start seeing some arrests in this country, we're going to be in this situation where, you know, these officials are going to think, hey, we could get away with whatever. You know, national security, call it whatever you want. We could get away with whatever.
Well, they have gotten away with it for many years because the details... Now, I don't know what it is because I blather about this ad nauseum to everyone I meet. And I meet a lot of people, especially because there's Rogan's Club here in Austin. Mm-hmm. So I blurt out right in their face the second I meet them, hey, tell me about Monarch. What about Monarch? Like they did to William Colby back in the day. And he went, oh, they stopped doing that. So that's a real thing they did, I know for a fact, because that idiot blurted it out. He later got killed, I think, just for revealing a little bit too much. Mm-hmm. But anyway, these people are still knocking around. I don't believe this thing with the crazy lone nut shooter anymore. I really don't.
No.
It's almost a Hollywood cliche. They always have a diary that they wrote nonsense in. Mm-hmm. And then the guy that Hinckley, the guy that shot Reagan, he is because he loved Jodie Foster. Is that why it was? He's a family friend of the Bushes. Mm-hmm. There's a history of Sirhan people. Like, if the internet was around back then, they couldn't have got away with none of the stuff they got away with. But right now, the generation from there has already decided they believe in what they believe in, and they watch CNN or Fox or Sky News, and they sit there like hypnotized lumps. And if you have the misfortune of having to watch those news, like being stuck on a tarmac like me, they run two stories all day, and they have 7 people on a panel repeat the same phrase over and over again. It's so shocking to see it when you haven't seen it in a while that I don't understand how it hasn't dawned on people what your fake ass country is. It dawned on me a long time ago, but I'm enjoying that people are starting to notice it now.
So I will say once again that Don Bongino and Kash Patel denying that Epstein was murdered and saying it was a suicide, just like the establishment said, and now saying that there was that investigations closed into the Butler shooter, which we all know that wasn't a lone gunman, that was the obvious collusion between the deep state, the Secret Service for sure was in on it, and who else? Yeah. Who else?
Kimberly Cheadle.
So for them to do that now, it's helping wake people up to the fact that your country is not actually run by the people you think it's run, and quit playing tribe politics. It's not Republican against Democrat. They're all work for the same handful of billionaires who locked you down during COVID. There's the same handful of billionaires who ruined Libya, who got us into Iraq, who had us in Afghanistan for 20 years, who financed Ukraine, provoked Russia to invade. The same people who did Syria and now who financed Al-Qaeda, and now we're in bed with the guy who's running Syria, which is an ex-Al-Qaeda guy, current Al-Qaeda guy, and he's our guy now. And so it's all about the greater Israel pride. It's a whole thing. I hope this is helping wake people up. Well, I'll tell you this. There's lots of people who are MAGA. Now, here's a MAGA person. Can you show this? She says it took less than 100 days for Dan Bongino to go soft at the FBI. And that's Emerald Robinson.
He went in soft.
He went in soft. So she's got 14,000 likes on that as of this airing. And here's Philip Anderson. Our patience is at a limit. Many of us are going to start calling Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, and Dan Bongino traitors if we don't start seeing some Democrat criminals get arrested soon. It's beyond time. The lib POS scumbag. Well, it's not just the libs, is it? Turns out it's both parties.
They're all on the same team.
They're all on the same team, and it's not America. Don't look down on black
people in Crips and Bloods. I know all kinds of people that look down on stupid, and they are stupid. You know who else stupid? You're them. You're the same.
Yes.
You got the same colors. They didn't even give you something besides red and blue. Everyone's programmed down the line for these more, and if you go to a good school because you came for money, you get taught how to do that to people. You don't get butt plug class and non-binary class. You get taught how to rule over the peasant animals. And it's not top secret. None of this is a secret. It doesn't need to be disclosed. You could go look it up, but you're just not gonna. That's the whole deal.
Just like the people who still walk around wearing masks and are getting their boosters, they're not looking into anything. It didn't bother them that they were lied to about the origin of the virus, that it actually came from Dr. Fauci and the American government, created in North Carolina. They're still angry at Joe Rogan for telling the truth about COVID. They're not even angry at the guy who we all know now invented it and called you a racist if you said that the virus came from a lab. Now,
science lab. It came from Chinese people eat bat wings.
Yeah,
that's the not racist.
That's the
Never
not
forget,
racist.
That's the not racist story.
Yeah, that's the not racist story. The racist story was that it came from a lab that was being funded by the United States government, particularly Dr. Fauci. Isn't it amazing how none of those people are still yet angry at Dr. Fauci, but they're still angry at Joe Rogan? Well, it's the same thing. So it's the same lie. So those same people who told you Joe Biden wasn't demented for 4 straight years and didn't have cancer, and that's the same lie. Now we just switched teams, just like we switched censorship teams. The Democrats wanted to censor you over COVID and for dead naming people, and they called you sexist and racist. And now the Republicans want to censor you for criticizing the stranglehold Israel has on our country, and they call you an anti-Semite. So you're not called as a racist or a sexist, you're called an anti-Semite. You're still called a bigot. It's just a different, and now you're on the red team. Now it's the blue team. And so but honest to God, this is a service that Dan Bongino and Kash Patel are providing, because it's waking people up from, hey, you can't go along with your tribe. You have to go along with the Constitution. You should have allegiance to the Constitution, not to a politician and not a person. As much as you think Trump stands for something, and they don't. So you should have allegiance, and when they reveal that they don't, you should come down hard on them. And most of the MAGA people I know are coming down hard on Trump, and they're against his censorship. They're against his allegiance to Israel, his MIGA, his Make Israel Great again. That's what he's really. And so this is just this is helping what Dan Bongino and Kash Patel are doing. They lost to Alex Jones. They lost Tucker Carlson. They lost Glenn Beck. They've lost MAGA influencers left and right. And they certainly lost us. So this is a good thing. Ben, anything you want to say?
I think it's a great thing, Jimmy. I mean, just looking at the experience that I just went through, where you have 2 Republicans, me and Chad Bianco, and then there's definition within that because of the actions of Chad Chad Bianco. Chad Bianco revealed himself. He's not much of a MAGA guy. He's much more of what we would call a globalist, right? And I think it's good that these things are defining themselves. Like Donald Trump losing 2020 or having it stolen from him, I think in the long run, it's actually been a blessing in disguise because it's exposed a lot of things. So I think we're going through the birth pangs of what is a new America, where before we used to be, you know, Bloods and Crips, like we were just talking about, red and blue. And now that gang culture is disappearing because we're frankly starting to realize that they're all
feds.
They're all full of crap. They're all full of crap. They're all corrupted. They're all very easy to buy out. And I got to tell you, the Kash Patel situation's been definitely heartbreaking because we put a lot of trust in Kash, you know, and it just seems as though whatever's happened, there was that image of two lizard people holding guns to their head. I just wonder how far that is from the truth. I'm not saying that there's literally lizard people behind the scenes, but how far is that from the truth that their lives were potentially threatened? Like Joe Lombardo is a good example. We're talking about him, Nevada governor, used to be sheriff. A lot of people think he covered up the Las Vegas mass shooting. He became governor. He's still living. You know what I mean? And I think that's often the choice that these guys are faced with, where you could play ball or you could go on a little, you know, convertible ride through Dallas. That's the options, you know?
Yeah.
And Kurt, you think it's that if Kash Patel and Don Bongino actually did investigate and tell the truth about the Butler assassination attempt on Donald Trump, that they would find out that there's two factions of the deep state fighting each other, right?
I know already, Dan. No, look, remember Trump, if you saw what I saw, you wouldn't release it either. Now, whatever Trump was talking about to Judge Napolitano about JFK, it didn't come out in them 80,000 documents.
Right, yes, that's right.
But I got great news. You don't have to wait for it to come out. You just have to pull your head out of your ass and listen to the victims of these people who came out in the 90s. This stuff has already come out, but everybody ignored it. You just got to go back and look. Don't wait for these assholes. Why are you waiting for them? To have respectability? They don't respect you. There's no such thing as that. You're a pet. Lizard people. Look, lizards. People have lizards as pets. A lot of them are very affectionate, nice creatures. I would never insult a lizard by calling these, you know, even though they call themselves the serpent race, the Freemason thing. All of them, they look at you as not even a human. Yeah. And what I love is we got to watch the Democrats. I just hope it doesn't take another 10 years of seeing what the Democrats are. And I'm a guy that loved bashing dumb shit conservatives. Oh my God, the smug pleasure I got that I miss. I miss. And I still get it sometimes when I meet like a Dennis Prager fans. But later, now we're going to see the Republicans all there because then you can't help but notice the similarities and differences. The similarity being Israel's going to do whatever the hell it wants with no rules, starve kids to death, a thing we're not supposed to do. I'm sure we do. Okay, and no matter what the party, you don't get to vote on it. There is nobody who's getting in office that's not going to do what they want. And they're going to watch that the Republicans have no, you're not going to get the things they're going to say, we're doing this, and then they're not going to do this.
Just like they said, they're going to cut the budget, and they're going to cut the waste, fraud, and abuse. And, of course, they're not doing that. They're actually increasing the budget at the Pentagon exponentially. And instead of...
They'll cut my mother's Medicaid. They'll go ahead and do that.
Yeah, they're going to cut your mother's Medicaid. They're going to cut your mother's Medicaid in order so they can give hundreds of billions of dollars to defense contractors to build a dome over the United States, which is our next story. That's Trump's actual plan right now. They're going to just give hundreds of billions of dollars instead of, again, investing it in so you could have clean water, so you could have safe streets, so you could have parks, so you could have high-speed rail, so you could have colleges and schools and libraries and things that make our country better in infrastructure. Instead of having that, they're going to do the exact same thing that the Democrats have been doing, which is explode the Defense Department budget way, 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 way more than we ever needed. We could cut our defense, but we spend 10 times more on our defense budget than the next 10 countries combined. So just keep that in mind. And so you're getting screwed again, and it doesn't matter if it's the Crips or the Bloods, the Democrats or the Republicans, you're getting screwed again. And the message from this show is that we need to come together and realize that we need to oppose the oligarchy, whether it's a Republican or a Democrat, and we need to actually make America first again. We got to go.
You can't do it if you don't comply. They literally, that's what all the soft kill with the bioweapon was about. It's not killing all the people of the earth, just enough to be able to have total control. As the great Hillary Clinton said, we're going to lose total control.
Yes, that's right.
That's what that stuff's about. And here's where all the countries collude. China was in on that. They had, whenever you hear about the population bomb, and we don't have enough people to replace the other people, and who's going to pay for these old people?
You got to get rid of them.
Goes to Israel's old people, and making sure Ukraine has no old people. Who's going to do it? Dude, they're going to... So it's actually like, Jimmy, you're right. I'm having a lot of mood swings watching this, I have to say. But I'm actually pretty grateful to both Slumdog Shillionaire and Dan Bongiorno.
Okay. All right. Well,
they said it better than I could with their bullshit. You know?
All right. Vev Miller, I appreciate you sitting in with us. Thanks very much. And do you have a website you want to tell people to go to or anything?
Yeah, sure. My X account is not Vem Miller, just the not in front of my Vem Miller name. And then my website's vemmiller.com. And lastly, AmericaHappens.com. That's our platform, America Happens, where we produce a lot of content that exposes this nonsense. And some of the stuff we're doing about Chad Bianco is actually on that website right now.
Okay. All right. It's great to meet you. Nice to talk to you. Good luck. Thanks for your work. And over to Steph.
Yo, give me your info, Vem, before you go. Or not on air, but let me get your info.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get you that info.
We'll get you that info, Kurt.
No problem.
Awesome.
All right, thank you,
Thank
Vem. Much appreciated.
I much appreciate you. Thank you, guys.
All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Justin Bemelon B said the FBI has finally said that Lincoln shot himself. So that was just in. Just thought my team should know that.
It happens.
It happens. Want to know who our country is? Google Coronado Military Facility and Nazi. Please do see what kind of shit we were building in the 1967. Love ya. Well, Texas grown. Thank you so much.
What did he say? Coronado what?
It's Coronado Military Facility and Nazi.
Well, I mean, obviously Nazi. That goes with all of our...
He spelled Coronado Coranado. Coronado Military Facility. I'm not sure if that's correct spelling.